Okay, so I'm finally getting around to review Les Miserables. I was really looking forward to it. I did like the trailers, I mean, you know, the musical, the book. It's a big deal, but, you know, the reviews were kind of so-so. They were pretty good, so I kind of went in with a little lowered expectations, but I wound up really loving this movie. For the most part, like, I can be either one way or the other with, like, really emotional movies, where I either find, like, the subject matter to not be, like, worthy of that emotion, so I find it sappy, or I just, like, really into it. And this one, where I'm, like, really into it, because I feel like the subject matter is deserving of that intensity of emotion. So, yeah, I think that really works here. That's definitely one of the strongest components of the movie, is how much you feel. If you don't bawl your eyes out, or at least, like, choke or tear up at any point in this movie, and you just probably don't have a soul. Or you really, really, really don't like the French. Or you really, really don't like non-French people playing French people. Right from the get-go, this movie is just towering with intensity. The opening shot is breathtaking. It zooms out of the ocean to this giant ship with this enormous symphony piece coming in, right, the score for the entire movie. I mean, obviously the music, it's a musical, and it is so good. But I think it really stands as a testament for Tom Hooper, because I noticed this a lot in King's Speech, particularly when he's giving the speech and they're showing the war preparations and, like, different characters' reactions to the tune of one of the movements of Beethoven's 7th Symphony. That scene just is awesome, that whole montage, and I feel like that's the entire movie for Les Miserables, because they just do it so well. He is so good at capturing this grand scope, and everything feels so epic, and I love it. The direction is so remarkable here, but what's even more awesome is the performances. And to start off, Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, I mean, he's a great singer, a great actor, and he brings both to the table here. He really does a great job of having you sympathize for his character immediately, and he carries the movie for his portions really, really well. Russell Crowe has been getting some crap because, well, both his singing and his acting. I think, you know, his acting is fine because Javert is supposed to be kind of stoic. They do a good job of infusing some of his backstory and, like, complicating his character, and he's definitely not one note. But yeah, Russell Crowe, he does pretty good. Like, it's not like an amazing performance, and even his singing was passable for me, because he, along with a lot of other people in the cast, do this kind of talk singing thing, where in most musicals it's like, alright, we're gonna do a song now, and then it's just kind of like a divergence from the rest of the movie. But here they do a really good job of integrating the musical numbers into the movie, because it's pretty much the whole time. And at first it kind of threw me off, because they'll just be singing, like, lines of dialogue instead of it being, like, a particular song. And I think towards the end I really wound up liking that. Once I got used to it, I really appreciated the fact that they did that. Anne Hathaway, is she amazing or what? She does such a great job of being, it's so gritty and dirty, and that's one of the best aspects about the movie. The movie does a great job of not glossing over some of the grittier aspects to be a kind of sparkly musical. It really gets down and dirty, I mean, with going into the prostitution parts. I mean, it really is just fantastic performance by Anne Hathaway. She really sells the fact that she is just this beaten, dejected person who is just at the end of all hope and has just been handed some terrible, terrible luck. Her singing for I Dreamed a Dream, if that does not make you get emotional, I don't know what will. I like the little girl who played Cosette. Amanda Seyfried does a good job. I didn't really hate her singing either. I thought it was passable. Thought she was pretty good. The guy who plays Marius, I don't remember what his name is, but he was good for the most part. He kind of reminded me, it looked like one of my English teachers, which was a bit weird, so I, like, missed part of his performance in the movie. But the people who play his friends in the, like, college rebellion group, they were all really good too. And I just loved that part of the story. And as much as I love the first half, the first half moves really quickly, because it covers a large portion of time really quickly. The second half is a lot more of just one piece of time and moves much more slowly, but it's a lot better. Well, it just has better material, because that's when they get into the revolution part and kind of the rebellion for the June Rebellion, which is an actual thing. And I love that part. Those parts jack me up. I love that. I was like, fuck the bourgeois, take them down. Yeah, and they do a good job of kind of infusing that, like, incense in people, and that, in the audience, and that was awesome, because it really gets you into the story, and you're really rooting for these characters. I love the little kid who played Gavroche. He was really funny, but at the same time gave some of the best and most penetrating lines of the movie. And just kind of like summarizes like what the whole thing is about as far as the poverty aspect goes. And that's the thing, is towards the end it kind of gets more focused on the love story between Cosette and Marius, and I just really didn't care. It was a very like Shakespearean love story. It was like, oh, love at first sight, now my whole life is dedicated to her. And especially because what's her face, Eponine, she's really likable too. And you just kind of ignore, that's not really the fault of the movie, it's kind of in the source material. And yeah, it adds a good aspect to the movie, but they kind of let it get away from the, like, social rebellion of these characters, and, like, this much more important thing that they're doing. And they bring it back towards the end, but just for a little bit, like, it just goes off track from that, and I didn't care for the romance as much. But at other times, the movie could be hysterical, with Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter as the Thénardiers were really funny, great singer, just great singing performances as well. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. Really love this movie. It is so good.